Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the EcoStruxure Machine Expert HVAC training. I'm your host, Leandro Romada, and in this video what we're going to see is, the simulation that we have on the embedded display. So let's go to the software. So I believe so far you already seen how I get into the simulation. Okay, but now I'm going to spend a little more time explaining how you can create a simulation of the embedded display and then how you can create different instances. Not at the same time, but you can create different instances. So once you have already created your application, in my case I have this. If you follow the previous video about global on timer, then you know how I get to this. But right now we're going to show you the simulation. So we had the possibility to simulate, create an instance of a virtual PLC M172. On that M172 virtual, we had the possibility to download the code, and the code can be our application on the logic part of the software, which is the programming, and we also had the possibility to download the display. Okay, we had the possibility to download both, one or the other one. It doesn't matter. Okay, so if you are going to work as a complete solution, probably the best would be to launch the simulation and make a full download. Okay, so you download the logic and you download the display. Otherwise, if you just use the display part, you will download to the target, to this virtual PLC, only the display part. And if you're trying to access to values from the PLC, it's pointless. Okay, so in order to simulate the M172, just need to go to this icon. If you, I believe this option is not here. Yes. So if you go to project, here you have the possibility to compile the code, but the option for simulate is not available here. Okay, so I believe you can create different things, but there are more things in the toolbar, but it's not going to add you the option. The option is already here, which is the simulation mode. If you go to the programming part, you have the bug and you have the simulation mode, which is already in there. But for some reason here in the display part, it isn't. Okay, we just don't have it. Okay, I don't say it is bad or wrong, or it's good or bad, doesn't matter. We don't have it. But what we have here is a simulation. And I believe the reason is that we use the programming part first. Okay, so we launch the simulation over there and then we just download all. That makes sense. Okay, but in this part, on this part of training, I'm explaining only the display. So if you want to play only with the display part, we have this over there. But the idea is to launch from the programming. But let's just simulate from here, but you just know that we have the other part. So simulation. Here we have create a new workspace. It's going to be like create a new virtual PLC M172. If we use create, we just give the name and it will create the instance of this new virtual PLC. Now, in the bottom part, we have existing workspace. So in this case, I have the previous virtual PLC, okay, and I can select this and select OK, and then it will open that instance. Okay, you also have the possibility to delete this, which is totally fine. Okay, I just go here. This also gives you the path where the project is. Okay, it's the same project where your project is, and it's in there, and they have this extension WKSX. You have the possibility to delete this, which is fine. Do you want to delete this from this target? Yeah. Okay, good, bye-bye. Now, I'm going to create a new one. So it's going to be training PLC. So then I will create my instance. It's on the other side here. So I have already explained to you in the past how to use this analog I/O, analog output impulse counter. So this part is, there is another video will explain you that. I'm not going to that amount of details because it's not the point. The point is to focus on the display part right now. The other part already explained that before in the previous videos on the basic of the M172. So one important thing is that if I select this and play around, you can play around with the keys, which is totally fine. You can emulate, you can make the long press of each of these buttons, which is totally fine. The monochromatic part is only on the real controller. Here, if you have an image, you should be able to see the color. So low your expectation. Even if you see color here, doesn't mean you're going to see the color on the embedded display. It's monochromatic. So if I leave it as it is, and if I go back to my application, it just vanished. Okay, from the screen, it's not vanished, it's appeared. Okay, it's in the background. So I can call it once again, open the menu, open the Windows bar, and here you have this pin. So you can pin it and it will stay there forever. Okay, and then you can still play with this. So now that you have this virtual PLC, you can see in the button that I'm connected and there is no code because it's new PLC, it's empty. So now if I download from here, okay, do this compilation, everything is fine. There we go. So the application is loaded. Okay, you can see that the application is there, it's loaded. And it's working, it's going to do something, the thing that we explained in the previous video. So it's going to do something, which is fine. Okay, now, but, something very important, if you see here, it says no code. And the no code is related to the program that I have on the PLC side, not on the embedded display, on the PLC. That's why you see no code. Okay, so your code is there, but the code is displayed. Now, if you want to change that, that is going to make more sense because you had a PLC and then you have the embedded display of the PLC to see data from the controller part. Then you just need to download all. When you press download all, it will download everything that you have for the display. And then hopefully, if there is no errors on my code, I believe I don't have, it will download the code, the display, and all the different variables and everything again. The BIOS parameters, blah, 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 blah. Fine, and then you should be able to see here, okay, source, okay, because it has downloaded the application from the PLC part and also display, but it's taking into account the PLC part, okay? So in order to close this, you can go simulation once again and check it, and it just vanished, okay? Just close it. You can open it once again, simulation mode, and select the existing one, or just create another one. Why not? It's up to you. It's the memory in your PC, not mine. But you can open a new one, or the same one that you already have. Okay, so there we go. Okay, easy peasy. So this is how you can use the simulation or this virtual PLC in order to simulate the behavior of the HMI connected to the embedded display. The embedded display simulation of the embedded display connected to the PLC on the M172. Okay, so this is how you can program this part, use the simulation. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.